It's pretty much just a box of stuffing, to be honest. Hey, it's Audeyah. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be going through the newest releases from One Size Beauty, so stay tuned and let's get right into the video. If you did check out my last video, which was my Sephora haul, you would have already seen some of the items that I got. I did say I was waiting on some. They came yesterday, so I'm gonna share it with you. So in this box right here, let's see what I picked up. It's pretty much just a box of stuffing, to be honest. So I ordered the One Size headband. I wanted to have this just to be a collector's sort of item, and plus, I mean, let's face it, snatched. The next thing I got was the mirror, and do you guys realize this is literally the size of my head? I'm going to, of course, highlight and conceal and contour, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, so as you guys know, I got them in the two shades. I got it in the shade translucent, and I also got it in the shade dark deep. So I pretty much want to compare it to the Coty Airspun powder, as well as the Mercier translucent medium deep powder. Now you guys are probably just like, so what's the correlation? Pretty much, Patrick has used in the past the Coty Airspun powder.
Try not to make too many facial expressions. I'm gonna take my Airspun Coty powder and the powder puff, and I'm going to put this underneath the eye immediately.
And I figure, okay, let's see how comparable the two are, because I believe that he's the reason I bought this in the first place, like back then. And then in terms of the Mercier powder, that's the only dark deep color that comes as a translucent powder that I could think of off the top of my head. So of course I bought them, so we're gonna see how well they perform. And then I also got the powder puff, so we're going to be using the powder puff on one side of the face, and then we're going to be using the Black Beauty blender on the other side, because I want to, you know, stick to my routine as much as possible. So I did not buy this just for the video. I just never opened it because like I've been using so many different ones, but I'm gonna open it. So pretty much it has a nice rounded shape and it has a flat edge. Of course, that means that it's meant to really get into, you know, the chiseling aspect. And then of course you have the overall powder, because if you guys know Patrick, you guys know he likes beating the crap out of his face when he's putting on powder. So I think it's really, you know, effective. Personally, I just don't use powder puffs, but I do like the idea of, you know, this. Of course, the side that I'm gonna do first is the side with the Patrick One Size powder. I'm also going to open this. So personally, whenever I do get powders, I prefer using the Coty Airspun powder anyway to, you know, put it in here, because I feel like this is just much easier to clean than the ones with the card insert. So that's just me. Hopefully that was beneficial to you. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. Thought about it. So this is how much powder I put into here, and we're gonna go in with the puff. So it does pick up a decent amount. I'm gonna see how it doesn't work well when you try to tap it. It's definitely not like a beauty blender, but I'm gonna just scrape it off. that was intense, but actually no, we're gonna use it by just tapping it back into the actual sponge, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm going to blend out the under eye because my under eyes do crease, hence, you know, you gotta set. I think the process is definitely a little bit on the messy side, but then again, powder puffs just aren't my thing. So in terms of the powder so far, what I think, it is very fine, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm seeing myself this up close for the first time doing my makeup, but like I could see a bit of texture, nothing crazy, just a little bit. I'm gonna also take it around my nose because my nose does get a little oily. So yeah, it's really finely milled. which I very much like. And as you guys can see, like my concealer has not really transferred to the puff, like in a very small area, but it's really not too bad. I can't tell if this is the color of the powder or if this is the color of my foundation, but either way, I think it's doing a great job so far. So now we're going to put in the dark powder, and this is kind of how I like to do my concealer. Sorry, my powder. I like, you know, putting one in this area and then changing it up. So we're pretty much using this much of the dark deep, I believe it's called, and we're gonna see if we could pick up another side and go do what we got to do. So I'm a little scared because I've never used a shade of powder that was this color before. I'm accustomed to using like banana colors, so it's really interesting to see where this goes. Okay, so definitely I think that the powder just gives your face a very airbrushed sort of look to it, and honestly, I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna go above my brow because I see a bit of oil coming through, and then like half my forehead. So basically anywhere that I'm seeing oil, I'm just going to lightly press it. And I'm not sure if you guys can see the difference, but like over here is very glossy, over here isn't. Like I'm actually really loving it. Yeah, like I honestly just want to put this all over my face because like it just gives me such a nice matte finish, which I absolutely love. Like I feel like it's really absorbing my powder. What am I saying? My oils. So definitely I could have used this through my brows to give it a more mattifying finish, but we'll also just see how this ages. Like let's see if it ages well or not. Okay, so now that we have it nice and clean, I'm going to put the Coty Airspun powder, and this one is in the shade Translucent Extra Coverage, which I believe is the one that was Patrick's holy grail for some time. This one definitely is a bit more on the pink side in comparison to One Size, but I mean, I've used it before, doesn't make much of a difference to me, but we're gonna see if this is doing what the other side did. So in terms of how it is milled, this side is definitely much finer than this side is, and I'm not sure if you guys realize, but my oil kind of, you know, sucked the powder up just in the slightest. I'm gonna try to come closer so you guys can sort of see what it did. I feel like the medium deep color did a better job at blurring the skin, whereas I feel like this one definitely highlights texture. We're gonna see what this one dries onto. As you can see, I'm getting a patch right here. That's not a good sign. I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm just really oily in that area, but we're gonna see how we get that out when we get to it. Next, we're gonna move on to the Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep, and this does have a very similar sifter to the One Size Beauty one, and I'm not sure if I made this up or not, but didn't Laura Mercier used to give you like mini powder puffs in the mini powders that they would give? I thought they did, but when I picked this one up, I realized it actually did not have any puff inside of it, and I was a little disappointed because I remember picking up the original one and it did have a puff inside. I do have the Coty Airspun, so it's kind of like mixing just in the slightest. And then for the rest of my face, I'm just going to tap the Laura all over my nose because I kind of feel like it's fine. Okay, so it hasn't been on my face very long, but I could give you guys my initial thoughts. So I think that this is a really good blurring powder. I thought at first that the medium deep, or the medium dark I think it's called, to be honest I just don't know what the name is. It's called dark deep. So the dark deep, in my opinion, I thought it was not going to be good for me color wise. I thought, okay, well, I need a banana shade in order for this to work. And even with the Laura, like, you know, that's why they created the whole honey powder. But for my complexion, these work, or seem to work, really well so far. I definitely think in comparison to the other powders that Patrick's powders definitely give you a blurring effect as well. It's not just sitting on the skin. Yes, this side looks more like skin, but on this side, like, it really has managed to absorb a lot of the oils that my face produces naturally. Like I said, this side just looks more like skin, and this side, you know, definitely is doing what it needs to do. So I'm gonna use this brush from Morphe. It's the M446, and I'm going to just dust the powder from my under eye and dust it from my face. I do know that my dark spots are showing just a little bit, but that's because I didn't really do what I had to do. And that's fine by me. Hopefully it's fine by you. So in terms of how it dusts away, I think it works really well. It does blend right into the skin. So that's good in my opinion. And I'm just going to use the same brush and just continue. So after basically buffing these powders into my face, this has started to look more skin-like, whereas this side sort of mattified. So it's kind of just like, let it bake for as long as it can, if you can. So something doesn't seem right under my eyes for both eyes. It's probably just my own application, but I'm gonna finish off my eyes off camera and then come back and we can see, like, you know, if after I've done my makeup, if I have any new thoughts about these products. So yeah, because I have another product that I want to show you guys, I'm going to just refrain from doing too much. So in terms of how my skin is looking after about, I want to say 5 to 10 minutes, it's still holding up pretty well. I still very much like this side a lot more than I'm liking this side, because I kind of feel like the Coty is showing me a little more texture than I would like, whereas my skin still looks very blurred over here. Overall though, I think my face looks really good. I can just tell the difference between, you know, what it's giving and what it's not. The next product that we will be moving on to are the lashes. So we're gonna start off with the first style in Come Through. Pretty much I'm just gonna try it on so you guys can see what she's giving. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned it in my last video or if it was just something that I was thinking out loud, but like, you see these lashes that Patrick is wearing? I may or may not have mentioned in my last video that I wish that he had launched the lashes that he was wearing, because everything of the previous collection was pretty much for the eyes. So I figured, you know, why not? So looking at these lashes right here that are called Come Through, I believe that these are the actual lashes he was wearing. And from my initial thoughts of it, like, it feels very luxurious. These do not feel fake or cheap. And I like that it has a natural curl. So I feel like for most eye shapes, this will look really, really pretty. And yeah, so far I have nothing bad to say. This is what the lash is looking like. I hope my hand isn't too dirty, because I mean, we've been playing in makeup for a little while now. And I'm gonna try to size it to my eye and see if it's doing what it needs to do. Based off of how I applied it to my eyes, I believe that these are pretty much the perfect length and everything for my eye. Just gonna try it over here. see like, you know, what I prefer to see it on. I think I prefer, okay, this, it's supposed to be this way, but I guess I like the length of it. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so I'm gonna apply them and then we're gonna come back. Okay, so this is what Come Through is giving. She's giving us vibes, she's giving us sass. Like, I really like it. It doesn't feel very heavy, which I'm very thankful for. And I feel like with some bottom lashes, like this could really transform your entire look. Like, honestly, I'm really feeling these, like I really am. And I low-key don't want to take them off, but because I have another style to try, I'm gonna take them off for that sake and for that sake only. My only sort of critique, which I mean, it kind of just depends, but like for someone who's a beginner who doesn't really know the first thing about lashes, it might just be a little bit hard to decipher which is your left, which is your right, especially because it is tapered beginning and end. So if it could possibly have like the sign left, the sign right, or the sign opposite, I think that would be really beneficial to someone who is not a professional. These ones. So of course, if I got the first one, I had to get the other one as well. And for this one, it's called I've Arrived, and she is giving volume. She's just giving us all the drama and all the sass and like everything I personally represent. So just a quick comparison in case you're a little confused. As you can see, this one is very much, this one is very much everyday, and she's definitely like party out, birthday, like she's giving us everything and more. So she's called I've Arrived and this one's called Come Through. So I'm just pretty much gonna reapply my lash glue, apply these lashes, see where this goes. Hi there, so I'm back, whatever. So as you guys tell, these ones are mad dramatic, like taking over my whole eye dramatic. Like, who can talk to me dramatic? But I love it because that's just who I am, you know. Anyways, so with this particular one, I definitely could have cut it at least maybe this much. Yeah, I could have cut it at least there, but at $20 each, if you think I was gonna cut it, you had another thing coming. Like, no. So definitely loving them. Even though they're really thick, they do not feel heavy on the eye, but that could just be because I'm accustomed to wearing big lashes. Like I said, I could have cut it on the edges. With this one, you could literally just see like all of the hairs, and I could see like some of them that aren't completely in the same curl pattern. Like, it's just giving like a whole bunch of fluff, but I can see like a few loose ones, so they might come apart from the lash. But look at these from the side, like it's gonna fly away. Like, all you gotta do is just like start revving the engine and you could be flying away in 0.2 seconds. Like, let's go. So anyway, I did end up spraying my face with the 𝕁𝕐𝕑 Hydro Grip Set and Refresh spray, just so I could see how the skin would dry down and, you know, form my opinions there. So I think that definitely the spray did help to sort of give my face a, how would I even describe this? Like, my face just looks overall really, really nice, and I love that. I love that for me. Over here does not look as blurred as it did before, but honestly, I'm not mad at it. Like, it does look more skin-like now, and I could kind of still see a cast from the, you guys realize it's covering my eyebrows? Like, that's crazy. It's kind of castish under here, and I think that the lower Mercier did what they had to do. But like, I like how this side is just giving me complete skin, like, and also like it doesn't even look like I did all of that extra stuff to the skin. Like, I just like how it looks. And this side definitely, like, you know, doesn't really show up, you know, sorry, My nose runs every time I wear makeup, so sorry about that. But yeah, in comparison to like this side of my face, like it's just really doing what it needs to do. I think I could have put a little bit more powder in this area, but typically in that area of my face anyway, I will apply blush and, you know, highlighter. But today I didn't really feel like doing all of that just because it's now 12:50 at night, like, well, in the morning. Realistically, where am I going with all this makeup, you know? And I did swap out my gloss. I was using the two glosses from the Fenty lip kit that I got recently from Sephora. So yeah, my final thoughts would be that these are definitely things I think you should go out and purchase. I actually think when I'm finished with these, I would like to go purchase the bigger size. In terms of color, even though the translucent looks a little bit like it's not going to work for deeper skin tones, I actually do think that it is quite universal. My only thing is I think they should add one more shade because everyone does not want to go the translucent route. Like, we all know what happens when flashback becomes a thing. And speaking of flashback, I am probably going to insert a low light video towards the end so you guys could kind of see like what that does and how it looks. And if there's any flashback, because we definitely need to know if there is flashback, okay? But yeah, I feel like an in-between color, like in the same way Laura Mercier came out with a honey powder. Every company pretty much has a banana powder. So, you know, you could give us something in that sort of hue. Overall, I'm just really impressed by the products I've tried so far. I would recommend also including mini powder puffs in these because I mean, I just kind of wish that we would think a little differently for people who do purchase travel sizes. Like, it's always nice to have a few extra things on hand. I look forward to seeing what one size will offer in the future. And yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys check out the catalog of videos that I have on my channel. Please be sure to subscribe if you thought that this was a good video. And of course, because I did a Sephora haul not too long ago, I'm definitely going to be taking the time to go through the products that I bought, because what was the purpose of buying them if I'm not actually going to show you guys what I like, what I don't like. So this is pretty much the first video. Now we're going to move into other videos, and I just hope that you guys stick around to see what those videos are. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.